Alrighty, today I'm going to show you how to make a sign in GameMaker. We're going to hop in to my level as I have it done already so you can see it in action. It's taking a second to load. Here we go. These guys right here. I have a ton of them in my level, so I figured I could show you how to make them. First thing I'm going to do before I start doing that is go in to the objects section. I'll just type sign and one of them will show up. Plenty. I'm just going to open it over here. We'll get into all of these in a second, but I just want to grab one of, here it is, right here. As you need this /. Now, if you're looking for that before, if you don't have it, I would just type it into Google, as the actual combination seems to vary depending on so many things. So I would just type / into Google and you'll get it. Just copy paste it from there. That is what I did after all. So to start with these, I typed in wood, because there's a door in this template. This is the Heroes Trail template. So I found this door right here. It's like, that looks good. So what I did was I duplicated this. So it's going to make a funny looking thing because they can't have the same name. Try to name your stuff with this lowercase convention. It makes it easier, and it prevents you from, say, looking for something and it's capitalized. So if I go like this, while this engine will find it, some will not. They will look exactly for, how it's spelled, like a password. But regardless, once this is duplicated, and make sure you click on the duplicated one, not the other one, because that's not going to help you. This is the animation that comes with it. You're just going to want to delete these, because obviously it's a sign. A sign is not going to move like a door. That would be very strange. Don't delete all of them, because that will happen. If that does happen and it's not trying to let you go back, because sometimes that does occur, just delete it. Go over here, delete it, and duplicate it again. And voila, you're right back where you started. So avoid deleting this first one because it will freak and delete everything. So once you've gotten all of these gone, again, you want to edit the image. It's going to bring you to this window. Now keep in mind, you cannot turn these for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but I assume because this is obviously a game maker, not a art maker. But what you want to do is find the eraser tool, which is here, and make it really big and square, and just get rid of this. Now you're going to want to go kind of slow because you want to make sure you're not deleting everything. Obviously, if you're only taking one of these sides, you can mess up one of them. Like if we want this one here, if we mess up this one, it doesn't matter. So just delete it at your own pace. You can go really fast if you feel like it. Just keep in mind, if you delete it, well, you're just going to have to backspace because you can't put it back, from what I can tell. Now, just keep doing those until you can get it to be just like a plank and nothing else. Once that's done, you should be able to move it with this one here. If you pan it, you want to put it in the center somewhere. Probably about here. Now, once that's done, you can have it right here. And we'll finish up the sign piece later. First, we want to go and find the objects, which should be around here somewhere. If you just want to type OBJ, you'll get everything. Here they all are. Now you're looking for I used the column before these pillars here. It doesn't particularly matter which one you use, to be fair, but do keep in mind they do have collision. Some of them do, some of them don't, so you'll want to look into that. Because if you go here and you change physics is all of this, but what you're really looking for is parent, because this will say collision parent overall, because this entire template has various collisions. So you'll want to remove this one, so just put none. Because, well, if you can't walk through the sign, it will cause problems, since the whole point of the code that we'll get into in a second involves you standing on top of it. So you want to make sure the one that is named, pillar, leave that one alone. But this one, you want to click on it, and I would just change it to, leave this lowercase naming convention, but just change it to sign. I'm just going to put YouTube in there, just to make it obvious, because if I put tutorial, I'll confuse myself, because I actually do have tutorial signs in here. So once you've named it and you are, happy with your name, you want to go find that sprite again. So you gotta get rid of this OBJ, because it's not going to show any of the sprites, because that is just how it works. So if you want to just type SPR, you'll get all of these sprites again, and you should be able to find it. It's this one over here. So we're going to rename this one to sign, and then we'll put YouTube again, just to make it easier. That's all sorted out, and we're going to find it, and we're going to click and drag right here. Now, you could also hit new sprites for other things if you want to change a bunch of stuff, but once it's been put over here, you're all set. You can close these other things. As long as this parent is still none, you're all set here, so you can close that too. So, now it should have it here once it's been dropped. So we're going to finish up the sprite right now, because it is not done. It is just a plank of wood, which is not particularly helpful. So we're going to hit edit image again. You can zoom in and such if you like. Now, what I did for mine is I grabbed different shades, because this particular plank of wood has different shades, and I'll put them all over here. So I found, for ease, I just made a real big box and put one color right here, and then one right here, just in case if you want it closer, you don't want to have to keep clicking out of there. Over here, or if you maybe have more colors than this is, you want to save a couple extra. So you take this, grab that big box again. If you hold space and you left click, you can drag it around. So we're going to go right here. Try to make it even. Of course, that's entirely dependent on what you need this for. If you need it to look a little scraggly, then, well, be my guest. So we're going to keep going. Do this, and right over here, almost done. That, and I just covered the back to make it look somewhat normal, I suppose, because obviously there was no sign sprite with this particular pack. So just keep going until you got everything. And once that is all set, this line here is done, you can grab this, and if you make it decently small, it's got to be like pretty tiny. You can add a little shading at the top and bottom if you so desire, like this. I recommend, because it's kind of finicky, so I recommend doing small pieces like this. instead of trying to do a line. But hey, if you're confident, you know, go crazy, I suppose. So I'll keep going like this, and eventually you'll be all set with the actual sprite. If you want, you could also take black. You can change these two if you need them. You know, if you need a different color, but you get black and go like this. You know, put writing on there. Don't forget to erase your color swatches over here, because they don't leave, so the model will stay. Alright, we're going to work with that. So now that that's all set, we're going to just type YouTube, because we'll find it, because it's the only two things called YouTube. So we're going to click back to objects, and we're going to need to add some events. We need a couple of them. Let's see. Okay. So, once we add the event, we need create, we need step, and we need draw. Now, we're going to go slowly because we got to start with create, because create has nothing. There's just nothing in there. So you go over here to create, and you want to hit this first button. It says execute code. You can also type that. I have it under recently used, but if you don't, you can type it. Or you can look for this symbol, which is over here, as it is a very common one. So you grab it and you drag it right here. Now, you can zoom in and out, as you can see with keys and up here. Definitely keep in mind this reset zoom, because it'll definitely help you. All we're going to write in this one is just show text. And it should start lighting up, because this is a newer version. Equals 0, and then we'll cap it off, and that will be it. This section's really small. We don't stay in create for very long. Alright, since that's all set and it's been put in there, we're going to move on to step. Now you can click over here if you want to. You do have to double click though, or you can just move over here and it'll do the same thing. So we're going to do the exact same thing we just did and put execute code. Put it into frame because it looks like it's running away for some reason. I don't know why it does that, but it does. Then we're just going to put if place. So you got to put if place, and then you got to opening things. Go down here. You got to put meeting. Yep, meeting, and then XY OBJ, but the OBJ is going to be player. So we're just going to put OBJ then player, because this particular engine has a player model already in there. So you just need this. You don't need the whole thing. But you do need to make sure everything is capped off and stuff, because it will freak out otherwise. So, because there's two of them here, but not two of them there. There we go. You have to make sure this XY is in there, because if not, it has no idea what you're talking about, which is why it just was nothing. It was just sitting there and freaking out. It will put that warning sign, so like if I go back, it has this warning sign, because it'll tell you that doesn't make sense. And even if you go to build, like to play, it'll freak out and it'll tell you exactly what's the matter before you can, proceed, I should say. So once you have that all sorted out, you want to put a bracket in there, then show text, right back to that show text again, equals 1, I'm going to cap it off, then I'm going to close the bracket. Then once that's been put in there, we put else. Then we make another bracket. We're going to tab, we're going to put show text equals 0. And we'll cap that one off too, once we've actually put the appropriate symbol at the end, because if not, it won't know what that is either. But if it starts freaking out, always pause and just look, because sometimes the answer is blatantly obvious. Let's see what's going on up right here. Apologies, that tends to happen for me. Keyboard and mouse is not traditionally something I use, but it's all set, all the warnings are gone. It will tell you syntax error if you haven't changed it. But once everything is happy, you can move on to the draw section. Now, this one, I will be honest, is rather large, so we're going to go back to the other ones. For time purposes, as this video is already over the limit, or the minimum, I should say. So we're going to bring it on in here, and I'll go over it once we get in here. Now, this top section, this middle, is to align the text, so you can do left and right. We just have it center because it looks better. This N, which is what I was telling you for that /, this is the break. So it'll be riddle answer, and then this will be at the bottom, and this is just the color. So the reason this one is -64, whereas this one is plus, is because this upper one is like a shadow. So it's going to look, let's say, like it has like a background. So we're going to plonk this in here, and we're going to press play, and then I have to change it. So it's going to be black for a second because it has to make this a page, because there is no page. Let's let it compile. As you can see, it is compiling, no issues. It would completely reject it if you had this issue. Plonk it in here. It's loading. Okay, it has loaded. So what I'm going to do is swap this screen. Swap the display to the other one, because currently it is capturing still GameMaker. So I'm going to swap to here. So you hit resume. As you can see, it's hanging out the title screen. We're going to press play. Now, this is the regular sign. That other sign was in there, but this is what mine looked like. So it's got the background, and this is what they'll end up looking like. It will change if you have, you know, different colors and such. And that is it. We're going to fix this in the back. We're going to change it because it's hanging out at citation machine for some reason, because that's what was left open. So we're just going to go back to GameMaker and leave it. And that source that you saw, that was where it's the original video. I just remade this one just because that /n is different. It used to be a hashtag. It's not that anymore, so I wanted to have at least one video that shows that. And the sign, just making the signs, you could see you could make it within the engine, because it doesn't seem like many people make anything within it. But hope you enjoyed.